Almost click start streaming, Phoebe. That's not how I enter the room.
To not start streaming. I just checked that I didn't do the same thing. You are now being recorded. Don't say anything that could be held against you in court of law.
You are live on Channel 4. Please do not swear.
I kept getting letters. I didn't tell you this. I kept getting letters from the bailiff for not me.
Maybe I should stop recording.
I kept getting these letters, and I was like, I didn't realize they were from the bailiff before. I'm like, okay, I get a lot of these letters for this guy, and I'm like, it's not me, and I'm just like, and I finally clog on and like because it's getting like, you know, when it starts becoming red text, and like
final notice.
Now. Yeah, and I like look at who it's from, and I'm like, oh, the bailiff. I'm like. So I do that thing where you cross out the name. You said like no longer lives here, and then I put it in the post box, and I'm hoping that solved the problem. But if someone comes tapping on my door, it might be the bailiff, not after me.
That's kind of horrifying, because also if the bailiff turns up, are they going to believe you? Who knows? But like, I mean, I've had bailiffs turn up at a door, like our family home. Like when I was a kid. I had a conversation with my dad once. I didn't realize this, obviously, when I was a child, but only years later did I come to the realization of what was actually happening in my young child life. Sorry. But my dad was literally like, if some people come to the door and knock and ask to come in, you have to not open the door. And then like a couple of days later, he was like, I'm going to put all of your toys and stuff in the loft. And if somebody turns up, you can't say anything about the fact that we have a loft. And I was just like, oh, okay, Papa, like whatever young Chloe said. Only years later, that I was like, oh yeah, we went like bankrupt, and we were going to have our house repossessed. I get you now.
I love when people like money doesn't buy happiness. No, but it certainly stops a lot of trauma.
It definitely stops a lot of trauma, yeah. But I mean, look, listen, it's fine. Hopefully the postie goes like, oh yeah, that's fine. Bailiff, don't go there.
I'm not particularly worried. I mean, what they're going to come in and like go through my extensive Kermit the Frog collection and be like, this will pay it off. I'm actually now worried. I've worried myself. How dare they?
You're fine. Kermit's safe. Don't worry.
Hello, my name's Phoebe, and this is.
Wait, are we using that as the start?
It's a big trauma dump. No, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do it if you don't want to.
Trauma dumping is just a speciality of what you can find and expect to be on the Explaterate podcast. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome in. And of course you all know what Explaterate is, because it's definitely not a obsolete word. We love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those of us who maybe have forgotten what Explaterate even means, Phoebe, could you please remind me what the definition is?
Well, it's an obsolete way of saying no,
I cannot.
It's basically an egregious brain dump to talk continuously without stop. It's like the just word vomit, and it was also available as a name.
Hey, everybody has a podcast. Everybody has a podcast nowadays. If you have any sort of, I don't know, I was going to say social media like presence, but I really don't. So, I mean, like, yes, I've got a Twitch channel. Look, I've got a Twitch channel, but when I say social media presence, I'm thinking like, you know, when people use Twitter and stuff and are actually active in their things. I'm not. My Twitter is just, here is some charity stuff that's going on that you might be interested in, and here is my best friends doing amazingly in their careers. That's it. Like, there is nothing else on my timeline.
Chloe. Also, this is Chloe. She hasn't introduced herself.
Yeah.
I'll go for it. This is Chloe.
Hi.
Chloe has this habit of just like, I'm not a big deal. Chloe's the biggest deal I know. Like,
you don't know that many people, Phoebe. Let's be real.
This is true. I live under a rock, notoriously.
I was going to say we're two introverts, but at the same time, you're actually like the most extroverted introvert I've ever met.
Yeah, I skew more extrovert, but I am definitely like someone who has a social battery that runs out.
Hmm. I mean,
But
I
yes,
think everybody does.
I'm
Like,
I'm I'm the extroverted person that leads the introverted persons to like two things. It's just like, oh, I'd really like to do this thing. I'm like, let's go. And I make it
you're
happen.
just like leading these people like out of their caves. In fact, it's me. It's me being in my hunkered down, like soft, like hermit of a home. And you're just like, and we're
A
going to the
round
beach.
and a
Like,
roundhouse kick you to the head and like make you like roll down a hill into
what,
adventure.
what is that?
It's the bailiff.
Oh shit! They found you.
Hold on a second.
Phoebe has returned and is laughing a lot, and I'm concerned.
I don't know how good my mic is. I don't think it will pick that up. But
No.
that was the loveliest Uber Eats driver ever looking for. I mean, the address was correct. It is my address, but looking for someone called Barry. Unfortunately, everyone, I'm not a Barry. And he's like, "Are you sure you're not Barry?" He was having quite a flirt. He was very very lovely old man, just being like.
Oh, God bless. I love the idea of like, well, no, but what's Barry having for dinner? Can I have it?
Barry's having a tasty McDonald's, but if it's still there
Oh,
after that, you know,
cheeky.
some cold chicken nugs. Um, that's
Um,
actually what they called me in high school.
oh no.
So
Oh
sorry.
no. I mean,
So
hey, I have my favorite new nickname that I called myself earlier, and you've shot me down twice about it now. But I like to call myself the beige frozen dinosaur nugget meal.
no, because you're not. You're not.
Well, how am
You,
I allowed to just be like, yes, you are a chicken nugget, Phoebe?
I it's different. What the fuck you on about? I am a chicken nugget. The thing is, though, like if you were to be the turkey dinosaur meal, you'd also make it a production. So it would be like the volcano out of mashed potato, and they'd like be like the volcanic magma out of beans, and then like the
Beans.
dinosaurs would be like dying, and they'd have like their heads decapitated, and there'd be ketchup to like show they're bleeding, and then there'd be like broccoli trees planted
I mean,
just for decoration.
to be
I don't think you'd
fair,
actually.
it does sound like the kind of meal that I would have had just out of trauma more than anything. But thank you for that childhood memory. I did used to actually make volcanoes out of mashed potato. And please tell me that you also maybe did this. Did you not eat mash as a child? Is this
No, I
something
wasn't
that
allowed to play with my food.
Oh, I'm
It's made
sorry.
it's made me a very well-adjusted adult.
Absolutely. Now look, Phoebe.
Yes, Chloe.
This
You
is
you trying to
the
get us back on topic.
yeah, kind of. Now look, listen, as you would say.
I would
This
say
is
that.
Explaterate. We are here to excessively talk. I came to Phoebe with the idea of starting a podcast mainly because I just wanted to hang out with Phoebe for at least an hour once a week. Call
Hell
it
yeah.
selfish, but also productive. But the way that I thought that we could like give our podcast a little bit of like a rhythm or a pattern. I don't know what the thing is called. What's the thing called?
The shtick is
The
every
shtick.
week, me and Chloe will toss a coin and we'll choose heads or tails. And whichever side it lands on, whoever called it gets to choose the topic of conversation for this topic. Not say for this topic for this podcast for
Yes.
for that episode, not the whole. Well, not every episode.
The whole stint of the entire run of the podcast.
I feel like you should have got someone who's better at talking to be on the podcast.
No, Phoebe. I don't want Barry who's ordering McDonald's. I want Phoebe.
You don't know. Bassett could be a right laugh.
That's true. But if he didn't get a strawberry milkshake and some turkey dinosaurs, I'm not interested.
Can't get his address right, bless him. But like,
now we don't have like your normal coin to throw to make the decision of who gets to choose the topic. I just have a 2023 Disneyland Paris coin.
check out the vlog on Chloe's channel, Tarek.
We're not here to promote ourselves, Phoebe.
Look, it's a great wee memory for me. It's like I
It
love
is.
those.
It
I
is.
love those videos. It's
My
like,
dad
it's a
loves
holiday.
those.
And also, my God, I should never be taken. Like, no one should ever photograph me or record me in the side profile. I only exist in 2 dimensions to myself.
Stop this right now. You are a fantastic human being and you need to love yourself. Now
I do
listen.
love myself. Right, sorry, continue.
This is a coin. This coin has a Mickey Mouse on the front and it has France on the back. And that is our deciding thing of heads or tails. Now, you need to decide whether you want Mickey Mouse or whether you want France.
I want Mickey Mouse.
All right, here we go. Shit me, I almost threw it into my monitor. The winning coin toss is Mickey Mouse, in fact. You can't see, but just trust me.
Excellent. So this week for the opening titular for the first podcast, we are doing Would You Rather. I remember.
Would you rather? Oh damn.
We've got some Would You Rather questions.
Yeah.
We're gonna go through them.
Nice.
We're gonna answer them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. I hope you are glued to your eardrums right now.
Do you want me to read out these questions and we can just go by one? So this is using, I don't know whether, I think at some point we will talk about this in the future, but back in the day, in old school YouTube, especially the gaming side of YouTube, there was a time where I think it was called like either.io, which used to be like literally throwing up would you rather questions on like the left and right hand side of the screen, and every time you would make a decision it gives you like the percentage of people that would agree or disagree. I'm using like a similar site which I think is literally wouldyourrather.io, and I think it would be pretty cool to use this because we'll get the percentage. We'll see who agrees or disagrees with us.
Yeah, which means that in a roundabout way, if you listener have ever used this service, you too will be part of that percentage, which means you get to play along. Kind of.
I mean, please do play along. I think that as a rule, every answer that we give, you have to have a good argument for it.
I mean, that's just who I am as a person. Argumentative, done. Sorted.
I wasn't aware, to be honest. I don't think of you as an argumentative person. I think you sugarcoat everything, right?
The sarcasm dripping from your voice right now.
Now, Phoebe, your first question. Mm-hmm. Would you rather know how you will die? We're starting off real fucking deep here.
Feel light. Yeah, keep it light.
Would you rather know how you will die, or would you rather know when you will die?
Oh God,
right
that's
off
awful.
Right off the bat.
Well, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you know how you'll die,
yeah,
then you can make it avoidable. So I'm going to choose that. Like, or you can make your peace with it. I think you'll just dread that date. And then every year when it comes past, because obviously, unless it's this year and it's very sudden, every year it passes on that date, you're like, oh.
But then would you not also have like a timeline then? Because you would then be like, well, I mean, I've got to make my life worth it within that time. Because what if you did find out that like, actually you're going to expire in a week's time? Would you not then be like, well, fuck it, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to go do everything I physically can in a week?
This is true. You'd be less scared of the thing that's going to kill you. Whereas if you find out the thing that's going to kill you, you will just avoid it. And then you'll probably live a life of like, bubble wrapping yourself.
Exactly.
But this only works if you have a long time to live.
Yeah, very true.
If you find out it's Tuesday.
Well, but at the same time, like, because you could just be like, well, I'm going to go take out a loan from the bank. They don't need to know that I'm going to die soon. You can keep that information to yourself and go on like a massive nice holiday to like Tokyo or something and have a great time. But
oh my God.
Nobody would ever know. But on the flip side, what if your death was an incredible death? Like, what if it was like you just fell onto a bouncy castle and into the sea? Or like, I don't know, just a fabulous death.
I think a fabulous death is hilarious as a memento to your life, but I don't think you get to, just as a weird aside here, I don't think you get to enjoy your fabulous death as much as
No.
you're making out here.
Of course, but if you knew how it was going to happen, would like if it said like, "Oh, you're going to get crushed by a piano," would you not then like every time you went outside and knew that there was maybe scaffolding or someone moving, that you'd just be like, "Here we go, it's today."
I am ready to be in a Laurel and Hardy sketch circa 1915. Yes, any day of the week.
But like,
I'm happy to go that way. If it's a bit of slapstick, I'm down.
So what's your ultimate decision then? Know how or when?
It's definitely gonna. You're right. You're right with the when. You're
When?
right with the when, because I feel like you'll have a new lease of life.
Let's see how many people agree or disagree. It is 54% for when and 46% for how. Ooh.
That's nail bitey.
Damn. That's very close compared to what I thought. Like, I know we just made an argument for like the how, but at the same time, I would have gone for when as well. So I don't know how I feel about that. The next one. Would you rather be good at something but have no passion about it, or have a passion for something but not be good at it?
I would rather have the passion. I feel like.
Would you?
100%. I feel like I'm rubbish at most of my passions anyway. So like, I have so many hobbies that I love, but I'm not good at. And the fact is like it shouldn't stop you. People, if you're out there thinking I'm not very good at this, it doesn't fucking matter. Does it bring you joy? Yeah, sure. If you're good at something and it brings you like you have no passion for it, you're going to be miserable.
True. However, I love that my job here seems to be to like chuck the
counter argument.
The counter argument here.
See if you can convince me to change my mind. Go
but
on.
if you thought about it though, right? So like I understand your argument because it's kind of like jack of all trades but master of none, right? Because if you have a collection of things that like you really love, but you just don't excel in them, right? But if you excel at something, sure, maybe it's not your passion, but you could make bank because you could be someone that is like extremely good at being, I don't know, a accountant. And you could be the accountant to like a world leading organization and be raking it in. And you could be like, I fucking hate finances and I hate money, but I've got a lot of it. And like we just said about the bailiff situation, money does avoid a lot of these circumstances. I'd like to also just make a side note of like, that's not what I would choose, but at the same time.
Yeah, because I feel like the problem with that argument is although it is the phrase is jack of all trades, master of none, but there is still a lot. I think it's much more useful as a person in society to be jack of all trades. In a commercial society, absolutely, being a master of something makes you profitable. If there is, yes, Chloe, she's got a hand up.
I just wanted to say, don't we live in a capitalist society?
Yes, we do. But it only works to be a master of something if there is there could be like a huge amount of accountancies and like accountants out there, and you're struggling to find work because it's not like it's mostly run by AI now. It's not true. Accountants are still needed, but like let's just say the thing that you master in suddenly becomes redundant because the robot uprising. Person is jack of all trades. Like it doesn't matter if they get let go from one thing, they can pick it up another thing because they've got tons of hobbies, right? I'd rather be passionate about something and not be good at it, because the thing is, you don't have to work within what is your passion, but you need to have a passion to keep you going. So
that is true. You need a creative spark and an outlet. That is very
and I think
true.
you agree with this.
100%. I 100% agree. I just like look. I gotta make the argument.
I really do appreciate you making the counter argument.
There's going to be some accountant out there who is really not there for the passion.
I think if you want to be a master of something that you're not passionate about, you're still trying to please your parents. Go up. You don't need to please your parents.
My parents said that I couldn't make money being a musician, so I ditched music and went down the art route. And I absolutely hate art, and ended up doing a whole first degree masters with honors. Masters? I didn't do a masters. I'm definitely not that a BA with honors. And I don't work in that sector anymore because it sucked the life out of me.
I think the thing is like getting a degree most of the time, and it's not true for everyone. Some people really use a degree, but most of the time it's just a way of like growing up and showing that you have the dedication needed to learn how to get better at something, and how to improve, and how to care enough about something to show up and submit assignments. Most people do not have a job in whatever they got a degree in unless it's really specialized, like they worked. Like they work to become a doctor. Then
I was just about to say, I feel like a doctor is someone that you kind of like. You definitely need to go in that route. Otherwise, if I'm just a video editor who suddenly became a doctor just by choice, I'd be a little bit worried.
In the UK, it's so impossible. Like, if you want to be a doctor in the UK, you really have to have decided this at 16, right? Because that's when you choose your out in. I mean, when I was going to school in Scotland, it was the Highers, but like it's not called that anymore. So like, what is it in GCSEs? That's the one.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
GCSE, boom. A level.
I think if you're trying to do something and you're like, I'm a master at this, but I'm not passionate about it. You're just trying to please other people, and you can't.
Yeah, that is a very strong argument.
But like, if the choice is to have that and not be passionate about anything, absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
Very fair. Very fair. I would also just like to quickly say that I'm not an expert when it comes to like accounting and stuff. So apologies to any accountants maybe listening. We're going to go for passion.
I don't apologize. Fuck you.
Strong. Only 38% would rather have a passion than just be good at something. Only really 38%.
I think that really speaks to your argument about the capitalist society and money.
It's just lots of accountants out there. Actually,
I think you can get a good job and not be amazing at something if you're a nice person and good at a lot of different things.
I mean, look at me. I did my profession in art and traditional media, and as in advertising and stuff. And I have now gone into video editing full time, and I have no professional background in it. As much as I know what you're about to say after I say it, but I am not like excelling in it. I am subpar, but it's what I do as a profession.
I'm gonna send this clip to RT. I'm gonna send the clip of you being that.
Don't out me to my boss.
I'm gonna out you to your boss because like he will have words to say. He'll be like, "You're wrong. You're
now,
great."
Phoebe, would you rather transform into any object or transform into any animal?
Any animal.
Oh, that was a fast one. Holy shit. Animal.
We aren't living in prop hunt. Fuck that shit. I want to be an animal.
This shit isn't Gary's mod. I want to be in a zoo. Actually, to be fair, tell me then, what animal? Like, that was so instantaneous that you must have an animal that you want to be.
I've always wanted to be a cat. It just looks so cool. They look so cozy when they're like curled up and like, or like going on wee adventures, like especially if like I'm an outdoors cat, like it seems so cool. Like, or you could be a bird and actually feel like experience what flying is.
True.
Like 100%. I don't want to be inanimate.
I have a thing to throw in here. Classic. Here we go. So like when it says transform though, are we saying that this is by your own choice? Like, can you transform and transform back? Because actually, would you rather transform into a cat and then suddenly have someone being like, going to pick you up and give you lots of unwanted attention, maybe in that instance? Or would you rather turn into a chair and be like, I'm not even here, bitch. This is prop hunt. I've disappeared. No, that's not where I was going with it. But yes, I see the problem there.
For the cat, I can scratch back. What a shit argument. I love you, but like that's a shit argument, Chloe. Fucking hell.
Okay, we're picking animal. Here we go. And it turns out that 69% of people also agree that they want to turn into an animal. So that's very fair.
31% of you need to get your lives checked. Like that is wrong.
Oh, dearie me. Would you rather
Yes.
the ability to fly or ability to become invisible at will?
Why is it always these two? Why is it always these two?
Do you find this to be the thing?
Yeah.
Is this the go-to?
I think it is the go-to. Look, right. Flying would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the practicality of it.
Yeah.
It's bloody cold up there. You're going to be freezing your nips off.
True.
Right? It's all well and good. But the practicality of being invisible, excellent.
Oh, yes. However, sorry, I feel like every single time that I'm like, however, I see your eyes be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
No,
what's the argument?
It's not. It's more like I'm excited to see what she's going to come up with now. I love this. I love this. Like, I get to have the initial opinion, and then you get to play devil's. Like, you've managed to convince me. Like once my initial argument was wrong.
The ability to fly is not something that a human being has mastered, yeah, or even or done. So, could you imagine that you are the first human being in existence that can fly? Could you imagine? You would be cast as like Superwoman, like you would be actual Superwoman. Obviously without the strength.
You're a bad actor.
No, you wouldn't be an actor because people wouldn't just be like, oh, you can fly, put her in a movie. It would be like real life. Well, I mean, people probably would do that. That's just one aspect of it. But people might just be like we need to go see the flying woman. But if you even have enough of it, you could just fly off and go somewhere else. Like nothing stops any of this. But if you become invisible at will, all you're doing is avoiding conversations that you don't want. You can do that if you fly.
I see no problem. No, okay, but it's a bit less conspicuous. Also, you could do such good for the world. Like you get a tape recorder. I don't know if in this universe you get to, if anything you touch becomes invisible as well. So even if it doesn't, let's say you put the tape recorder in your mouth, or I'll leave the rest
like
to your imagination.
That's exactly where you went with it. Instead of like just tape it under your shirt and go invisible, just like
no, because I'm not sure if you would have to strip.
Oh, sorry, hang on. So you would rather the idea that you're going to strip naked and go invisible at will compared to the idea of I'm just going to open the window and fuck off for a bit.
I just think like it's cold. It's a lot of wind. I don't think the human body's ready for the elements. Like,
true.
I just think you could do a lot with being invisible. I think it could be quite a fun thing to do. And like, yeah, I'm gonna stick over the two. Okay. I think flying's overdone. It's fair. It's overrated. I'm gonna go invisible. I'm getting my nips out when no one can see them.
Be aware that there may be a flying naked Phoebe somewhere in the stratosphere. Right, let's see how many people agree. I would have said fly. 100%. I would have said fly. 59% agree with you, by the way. So I'm on the 41% there. So far, I've agreed with you with everything, but that one, I would rather fly. I just like the idea of like, I could escape any situation I want, albeit, yes, it would be like, especially say I'm having an argument with my fiance, right? It would be very awkward for me to just be like, just start levitating and slowly exiting the room. Like it wouldn't work in that situation, but being able to fly, I could just come over to Scotland whenever I want.
No, you couldn't. Right?
Yes, I could.
How do you know you wouldn't be exhausted? How do you know it doesn't take, like you couldn't walk here?
Phoebe,
what speed you're flying at?
What I do know is I'm not going to have to strip naked every time I want to go invisible. And I don't need to worry about where I reappear or disappear. I can just fly.
I'm hoping that isn't the case. Maybe I do turn my clothes invisible, but I'm just saying, even in the eventuality where I can only make my actual self, invisible. I just think flying is exhausting. There's lots of like things you don't think about, and two, you would garner way too much attention, and I don't want attention. Well, I do, but I want attention on my own terms. I would hate to become like some kind of viral celebrity. If you're the only person that can fly, you're never getting a moment's peace again.
Yeah, but
There is no privacy.
you don't have to like show people. I would secretly fly.
Chloe, it's the airspace. Do you know how well
I
protected
don't have to
the
go high
airspace
up.
is? Well, then you won't be seen. What the fuck you on about? Unless you were invisible. Oh, too bad. I'm invisible, bitch.
I have a follow-up question about the invisibility thing. Like, so let's say that you do actually have to strip down, right? For this to be a thing, like nothing that you touch or is on you turns invisible. What about like, for instance, listeners, Phoebe wears glasses, right?
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
Your glasses, but even if you put contacts in, does that mean that then there's just like floating contacts? How does it work?
Yeah, I would have to get LASIK. Not gonna lie, it's just gonna happen.
And you know what?
But
if you could fly,
to afford it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I was going to say if you could fly, you could make the money, but all right, you got me.
Yeah, I think I can make it easier being invisible. But so next question.
Next question, Phoebe. Would you rather have very bad spring allergies?
Oh, I got them.
I was just about to say, I love this. This is okay. Or have a very bad flu strain each winter.
I already have this. Well, this is just my life. Look, I'm going to choose the allergies because they're treatable, right? On the correct medication and stuff. Like it's livable. I've lived with allergies my whole life. You never know if a flu is going to take you.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh,
keep it light, Phoebe. Keep it light.
That one got real deep. I 100% agree. I don't think that even needs an argument.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Only 44% of people agree.
Well, 44% probably are not immunocompromised, are they?
Yeah, they've never experienced a flu before.
Sorry, the 56. Like, because I have been. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
It starts as the flu, then it becomes like a chest infection, and like then you got a tonsillitis, and then it goes back to being a chest infection. Then you have an ear infection, and then you got a whole sinus infection, and then you get like fucking you can't go up, you can't stand upright because you got vertigo from your ears, and then it goes back to your throat, back to your chest, and you are just a wheezing, coughing mess.
And like 9 times out of 10, sometimes the flu comes with diarrhea, and no one wants that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. This is so true. It's nothing worse than you feeling miserable as hell. You can barely breathe. And you're just sat on the toilet, contemplating your life. You're like, that
is a great hot girl summer right there. Oh wait, it's winter. No, wait, don't worry.
Don't worry, peeps. I am single. hold that hope.
Yes. Would you rather it always rains?
Yeah.
Or always snows? I think this is very dependent on where you live.
Always rains.
What? Really?
Yeah, because snow. I mean, we grew up in different places, right? We'll just you grew up southern England.
Yes.
I grew up northern Scotland. Like, or like I grew up in the Highlands, but like like the Central Highlands, like, and snow is fun for a wee while. But like, if you were in the snow for 2 weeks, it is miserable. It is so miserable because it's not the fun snow you go sledging in. It becomes like hard packed ice, and everything hurts, and you never feel like you're going to get warm. Whereas, although rain can be a bit depressing, I love heavy rain. The sound of heavy rain is great. You're going to always have water. Plants are going to be fine. Maybe things get flooded, and that's bad. Sure.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that. I'm still sticking with rain. I don't fucking know. Build a boat or something.
I think that's very fair. Like, you make a very strong argument. Like, I was 100% snow until you kind of said that. But at the same time, being someone that grew up in Southeast England and especially on the beach, it was great in the summer, but like I think I've only ever seen maybe 2 actual snowfalls in my entire life. And snow is magical to me. It's pure winter wonderland and like just pure happiness when I was a child, but also as an adult. I think I've seen it once as an adult as well. And I mean, actually, no, I'd tell a lie 3 times because when we went to Disneyland Paris, it snowed. And that was an incredible memory for me. But I would love the idea of just having snow around me always. But I also am someone who doesn't go outside that much and I don't commute anywhere. So the idea of having snow constantly doesn't impact my life in any way. Whereas, like, I mean, rain wouldn't impact me either, but snow is just prettier for me to look at.
Okay, yeah, but like, I think heating costs is miserable.
True.
I do want to say that I love the snow, but if it was only going to do one of those 2 things, I'd probably choose the rain.
You make a very, very strong argument. I'm going to have to side with you. I'm going for rain as well. Let's see. It is, oh my God, 50-50 split down the middle. That's insane.
That is insane.
People can't decide.
I kind of love statistics when that happens.
I really want to know how many people actually like. I wish it told me how many people had done the vote.
Of how many people,
Yeah. That's the thing that I'm missing there. I would love to see that. Would you rather be smart but heavily relied upon by everyone, or be stupid and completely taken care of?
Be smart and take care of everyone.
Really?
I feel value in making sure others are okay. That's my personality type.
Aww.
Like I want to make sure everyone's okay. I have, I want to make sure my friends are okay. I want to make sure that people are okay. And it'd be nice to be smart. It would be really nice. I'm very dumb. But like, yeah, I'd be fine with being the like, supporter, provider, if that had to be the case. Like I'd be fine with that role.
I have a question though, because if I was stupid, how would I know if I'm stupid?
Well, you would just know if you're being taken care of.
But if I'm stupid, how do I know?
You're not stupid. I just want to point that out there. But like,
well, you can't say that you're not smart. But this isn't about us. This is about whether we want to be smart or be dumb.
I think it'd be more. You'd probably have a happier life if you're dumb.
Very true.
I'd rather be the one taking care of people and knowing that like I can handle that burden than it go on someone who doesn't want that.
But can you? Because
I don't need a therapy session right now, Chloe. Fuck's sake! Don't psychoanalyze me.
But that's not the part of the question, though. It's not you're going to be smart and heavily relied upon by everyone, and you're going to be able to cope with that. That's not a part of the deal.
No, I'm just saying that I think I could cope.
That's very fair then. I think that's very admirable of you. I think that I would be stupid. I think that I couldn't take on the mental well-being of everyone.
I'll take care of you.
It'll
be good. It'll be fine.
Thank you.
I accept this. This is fine.
This is now our roles from now on the podcast. It's just here is my dumb friend.
But you are much smarter than me.
No, not by a long shot. I'm only in the 34%, so you're 66%. Everybody would rather be.
That actually shocks me.
Really?
That shocks me. Yeah, I thought more people would want to be dumb.
Oh.
If that many people are ready to be the smart ones, I'm ready to be the dumb one.
You take it back now. You're just like, oh, if there's more people ready and willing to take care of me, I'll go for it.
Yeah. If someone wants to take care of me and let me live like a dumb wee life, I'm so ready for this. I'm ready to just sit back and read, lads. Yeah, carry on.
Would you rather the ability to breathe underwater or
just stop after breathe? Yes.
Oh, the chronic asthma that we both suffer from. But look, would you rather the ability to fall from any height without injury?
Fall from any height.
Yeah, you would take that rather than breathing.
Underwater? Fuck it. I'm not. What do I need underwater? what, that's not for me. It's not for me, right? Okay, I got no business there. I'm not very good at swimming. Even if I could breathe underwater, it's still a lot of exertion.
What?
Do you know what I do? Do you know what I am very good at? Falling the fuck over. I am riddled in bruises, and I've got no fun stories to tell from it.
I mean, there was part of me that was like, how many buildings are you climbing? Thinking that that is the only way that you would hurt yourself from a height. But yeah, thinking about it, you do fall over quite a lot. But let me throw this into the mix. What about the idea that you could be taking a bath and just submerge yourself fully in a bath? And it doesn't matter.
Problem is, Chloe, we're back to our initial statement of money can't buy happiness is bullshit, because if I had the money, I would totally buy like a giant bathtub. But as it stands, I can barely get my knees underwater. I'm not going to get my fucking head underwater.
Okay, fair. So you would take the falling without injury purely for the fact that you wouldn't need to worry about falling over anymore.
It's just much more practical. I'm not near large bodies of water near enough for that to be an issue. I am always at a height. It might not be a tall height, but it's a height.
I am always at a height. I love that. Also, can we just point out as well, how tall are you?
Shut the fuck up, Chloe. Our friendship's over. The first podcast and the last podcast.
The first episode. We're going out with a banger right now.
I am 5'5".
5'4", you are.
I'm 5'5". You can shut the fuck up. I'm 5'5".
No, because I'm 5'5", or am I 5'6"?
5'6".
I'm 1 inch taller.
Oh, and don't we have to hear about it, lads? Don't we have to hear
yes,
about it?
You have to hear about it from me.
I am above average height. In normal circumstances, no one's calling me short. In our friend circle.
Phoebe, I'd like to point out here, right, that until you came into the friendship circle, I was the shortest. I know your pain. And I also
look how ready you are to pass it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Judas.
I get to pass the torch because I no longer hold this as the title. But also, when I was growing up, I was a very tall person in my hometown. And the shocking revelation that I got when I started to meet like the people in our friendship circle, especially in real life, I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Especially because it seemed that when I grew up from the ages of like 22 onwards, all I've done is go sideways and not up. And that is horrifying to me, but also it's just rude that everybody can reach the tall shelf and I can't.
It's very rude. I agree with that. But I feel the same. Like, I don't feel like I'm particularly short. It doesn't, like, I'm taller than my parents, just doesn't count my brother's 6'3".
Yeah, I mean, your brother is abnormally tall.
But he's also got size 15 feet and I have size 5.5 feet. So, like, I think I'll choose my short height and be able to buy shoes.
Yeah. No, I agree. I also, like, the reason I was actually bringing it up is the idea that you were saying you're always at a height. I just like the idea of even falling from 5'5" can cause some damage. But I guess it can.
Sorry,
I love that you're now pulling your leg up to show a bruise.
It's like there's constantly bruises, like all the time.
I know you in real life, right? So I know that there are stories even such as, rollerblading and roller skating. And wait, did we tell this one as well?
No, I've never actually hurt myself rollerblading, roller skating. So I only did it the once.
What did we agree out of these two? I was from a height.
What was the
Sorry.
two options? Oh,
it was from a height. From a height. Yeah.
Are you wanting to go underwater? Do you agree?
I agree. You've convinced me that falling from any height is best. I feel like I would want to give that to my partner and not me. But yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, I think Charlie's probably, bless her, a bit more clumsy than me.
Oh, Charlie is accident prone. Bless her heart. Yeah. But I just want to wrap her in bubble wrap. That's maybe stories for another day. Who knows? Not the wrapping and bubble wrap, just to make that very clear. I love you, wife. The the falling over, I mean. Phoebe, would you rather post every text that you have ever sent on the internet or post every phone call that you've ever had on the internet? Phoebe is deep in thought about this one. There is a lot of things to weigh up, I feel like, in this situation right here. I feel like personally, I think I would have to go with phone call as well, because I feel like my texts can be very unhinged, especially if we're talking about like probably including things like Discord and what have you, because I mean, nowadays for me, I don't really touch my phone, let's be honest. I will send you some like proper unhinged like photos and shit of weird crap that we find in charity shops. But besides that, I probably don't text people anymore, but I will write to people on Discord. When it comes to phone calls, it's pretty much just my family for me.
If we're counting Discord, right?
Then Discord calls as well.
And like voice chats, probably chat accounts as well. But I honestly don't think. I think the audio.
Yeah, I would choose the audio. Yeah,
I think it's difficult, but honestly, if you care that much, you can listen to all my phone calls, mostly with my mother.
Same.
I ask my mum pretty much every day, "What's for tea?"
Wait, do you speak with your mum like pretty much every day?
Not every day, but like pretty much. I mean, it used to be every day. Now it's more like 3 to 4 times a week.
Wow.
Sometimes less.
And how long has it been since you moved out from home?
Oh, well, if we don't count the pandemic, because shit hit the fan for everyone. Right?
2020 to 2022 just didn't exist.
I technically moved out of home when I was 18.
Okay.
I moved back in for like 3 months stints during the summer for the first 2 years of uni, and then I didn't move back the next 2. Then I moved to Brighton, and then I did move back home for a year during the pandemic, got paid rent, and then I moved here.
Oh, and the phone calls have been like pretty consistent ever since, or like?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Like it used to be like, it's just. Okay, here's the thing. My mum used to call her mum every day. Right. And I think it was, it was very sad when my nana died when I was like 10 or 11, and she didn't have those phone calls. And I think that in a way it's kind of reliving that. It's just a check-in to make sure we're okay. And I'll probably try to make her laugh with some weird anecdote about my life, because I'll probably tell her most things that's happening in my life.
Cute.
I like telling stories.
I love speaking to my dad, but the problem that I always get is that me and my dad are so similar in that we do both excessively talk a lot, that when we get on the phone, we will not stop talking for probably about 2 hours at least every time we talk. So we end up talking maybe once a month, because it becomes like this big event that we have to sit down and like digest the last 2, like a month of stuff that's happened in our life. Like we'll go through favorite songs of the month, or like just different TV shows and stuff, because that's just the extent of our of our friendship. We're like best friends, but just speak once a month. But like I'm the same. Like the majority of my phone calls are probably like the conversations that I have with like my nan, because we will try and speak like every other day, and it's just the same conversation. What are you having for dinner? Oh, that sounds nice. What are you having for dinner? Oh, cool. Was it raining today? Like that's about it.
Talk about the weather. Nothing says top bands than like talking about the weather.
Oh, am I right?
I eat that shit up. I'll complain about it, but I'll eat that shit up.
Today,
tell me about the weather.
I literally spoke to my nan today, and she was literally telling me about how like, oh, it's been like a heat wave here, but at the same time, we've had slight breeze that's been chilly, so I've had to shut the door, but it's been too hot to have the door completely shut. But if I have the door cracked open even a smidge, the pigeon might get in from outside. And I'm just like, Nan, We've been on the phone for like half an hour, and all I've managed to get from the conversation is that there is a bird nearby. That's about it. Like,
I will say we're pretty succinct, me and Mum. Like, it will be like about maybe 10 to 15 minutes phone call. It's usually
nice.
about how long it takes me to walk home from work.
Convenient. Okay.
Like, it's always like when I'm in transit.
Yeah.
It has been since I left home. So like I'll call her when I'm heading somewhere, or if I've got if it's a big story, I'll be like, we'll have a cup of tea. But it will be no
get the kettle on. I've got a story. Basically, we would both rather have our phone calls with our families aired publicly compared to any weird texts that are totally unhinged and do not need to be on the internet. Easy. Let's see how many people agree and disagree. Oh, the highest percentage we've seen so far, 75% of people would all rather have their phone calls aired. So, would you rather be permanently bald or have uncontrollable hair growth? Okay. I'll make it easier in terms of only the hair on your head, because I feel like uncontrollable hair growth could be you're going to turn into a Sasquatch.
No, I think it has to be like a Sasquatch, because otherwise you're always going to choose the I'm scared that I'm going to develop alopecia or I'm going to start balding. So like that's a huge fear for me.
Right.
So like I know that there is solutions. I also think that people who want like bald women are so cool, and I think they're beautiful. But for me, that's a fear in my head, where like you have the dreams where your teeth fall out and your hair falls out, right? Hear me out. You become Bigfoot. I'm done. It's good. I'm living my best Sasquatch life. I'm going to fuck off to the mountains and just read. I'm happy with that.
I guess there is the other side of it, that you get to be the terror in other people's nightmares.
There's nothing scary about bald people. Everything's scary about a Sasquatch, and also slightly endearing. Scary and slightly endearing is what I'm going for.
You'd also probably grow a little bit, so you'd be probably about like 6 or 7 foot.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I had to.
You're not much taller than me. There's like an inch in it. An inch.
I couldn't help myself.
I will wear heels around you all the time now. So in every photo, I'm just that bit taller than you.
I'm so sorry, Phoebe.
You fucking should be. Joking. You're fine.
I feel like
fine. I'll think about this later. That's fine. It is fine.
I'm going to fixate on this.
But this was lovely podding. If you'd like to, if you've enjoyed what you were listening to, or have listened for so long that you have developed, what's the one where you fall in love with your captors? It's named after someplace in Sweden.
Stockholm syndrome.
That's the one. If you do. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully enjoyed. If not, you've got Stockholm syndrome and have just accepted your fate that you're going to continue listening. Chloe, where can listeners find out more about the podcast?
People can find out more about the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Spotify. I think there's also an email address. I think it's like explaterate@gmail.com. Send us stuff if you want. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. You didn't actually say what the Instagram, Twitter, and stuff was. Twitter, we're at Explaterate. TikTok, we're Explaterate Podcast. Instagram, we're Explaterate Podcast. YouTube, Explaterate. Well, thank you for podding with me, Chloe.
Thanks for podding, Phoebe. Same time next week.
No. Yeah, I'm joking. I'd love to.